In this video, we're going to learn how to get an average of numbers that are inputted by a user. This is an example of what the code will do when it's run. It's going to ask, input a list of numbers. You can enter in as many as you want. I'm going to enter in 4. And it's going to give me a list of the numbers I entered, a total value, so it's going to add them all up. It's going to give me the number of inputs that I provided, which will be 4. And it's going to give me the average number from the inputs provided. So to solve this problem, I already have a couple of comments added. So we're going to write a program that calculates the average number and round the result. And the length and sum functions cannot be used. So we have to start off by having user input. So we're going to set a variable of user numbers. And we're going to have an input command. And we're going to split the result, the input, and we're not going to enter any data inside the parentheses. It's just going to go by white space. So now we have to create a for loop. So we'll do for n in range. So we're going to start from 0, and we're going to do the length of the numbers that the user inputs. So it's going to be user numbers close off the parentheses. We're going to use the variable again, and we want the index of n since it's a for loop, and we want to convert the input into an integer. So we have to add the variable again. And add n since it's a for loop, and close the parentheses. And then we're going to print user numbers. So now we need to list the total value that the user inputted. So we're going to add up all the values. So we're going to have total value as a variable. And we have to set it at 0. And we're going to do another for loop. So we'll do for x in user numbers, which is the previous variable. And we're going to do total value plus equals x. So it's going to add up everything that the user inputs. And then we're going to print an f string that says total value of numbers. We have to add the variable total value. So now we want to create another for loop, but this is going to list the total number of inputs that the user inputted. So it's not adding everything, it's just listing how many inputs were given. So we'll set this variable as total inputs equals 0. And we'll do another for loop. We're going to set total inputs plus equals 1. And then we'll have a print statement with an F string that says number of inputs equals total inputs. And this is where we're going to get the average number. So we're going to create a variable called average number. We'll create another F string. And we want to round the number if there's a decimal. So we're going to use the round command. And we're going to do total value divided by total inputs. And to see the result, we're just going to print average number. And when we run the code, it asks input a list of numbers. So we'll do 10, 20, 30, 40. We have the print statement shows the list that we entered. The total value of numbers is 100. It's adding everything up. The number of inputs is 4 because there's 4 inputs, and the average number is 25. Another example we'll run it again to get a decimal. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And this time we get the average number 2. The reason why it's not 2.5 is because the round command is going to, if it's anywhere from 0.1 to 0.4, it's going to round down. If it's 0.6 to 0.9, it's going to round up. If it's exactly 0.5, it always rounds. This is an example of how to get an average number from user inputs.